are super excited to have Dr. Donetrus G. Hill on the My K12 Career Show to share his story with our viewers and our listeners. Dr. Hill, can you please share what's going on in your life and in your K-12 career right now?
Absolutely. I want to say thank you, Dr. Williams, for having me. Always a pleasure to speak about education, speak about my journey. I truly believe I've experienced a lot, and I know that, or I pray that this can benefit somebody. Very happy to be here. Happy New Year to you and to all of your viewers. And it's going to be an amazing year. I put on LinkedIn yesterday. This is 2023. This is the jump man year. We're going to take Jordan.
I love that.
This year. Yeah, we're going to jump through the roof this year. We're going to take all the shots that are available to us.
I love it. I love it.
But yeah, so I am a 23-year educator. This is my 23rd year. I started in 2000. I started as a classroom teacher in Houston ISD in Houston, Texas. And currently in my role now, I serve as a community superintendent in Jefferson County Public Schools in Denver, Colorado. Actually Golden, Colorado, but we're Denver in essence, greater Denver area. I have the opportunity or the privilege to work with 13 school leaders, and I'm learning from a really robust team of educators and administrators and other superintendents in the region to really make a difference in the lives of some very deserving, diverse individual schools, both individually as well as collectively.
Sure.
And we're just really having a good time. I'm in a new city. I'm in a new place. Got a fresh attitude about what this journey is going to have in store for me. I've been a few places in my career, which I'm sure we'll get to.
Sure.
And so I'm very excited about what this year is going to bring. And I'm happy for you and where your journey is taking you. And you're an awesome educator, an awesome administrator. And I had the chance to look at your school, and I'm like, oh, this is some good stuff. We're in good company together right now.
I appreciate it, brother. I really appreciate that shout out. So how long have you been in Golden, Colorado?
This is my first year.
Wow.
Month. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got here in July. And,
wow. What's that transition been like, Doc?
The first thing everyone tells you is that the air is going to get to you. I haven't experienced any of it. They just tell me to keep drinking water.
Okay.
And I walk around with a gallon every day.
Okay.
Just to make sure I'm never caught without it. Because, plenty issues. But no, the transition has been great. I will say it's a urban-like school district. There are urban parts, especially when you start talking about the western corridor of Denver. I call it the Denver Annex, where my schools are. I primarily service schools in the Lakewood and Edgewater area. These are going to be more of your more diverse schools, a lot of your schools that do have the socioeconomic challenges, wraparound service challenges, the gaps, especially those that have been exacerbated by the pandemic. Those are going to be the areas where they're the most pronounced and the most evident. But the transition has been smooth. I'm a turnaround educator. I've been that all my career, even going back to the classroom. And so working in this part of Denver, it's par for the course. The cool part about it is that I get to bring a lot of the skills and a lot of the experiences that I have picked up along my journey and bring them to these school leaders, these principals, and their leadership teams in a way that is unique to this area, again, coming from different parts. And then one of the other things, and I'll go ahead and share it if I'm sure that you'll allow it. I'm also the first African-American to serve in this role in our school district. This will be my third time breaking the color barrier. But this one here is the most significant first African-American to serve in senior academic leadership in our school district. There are challenges that come with that. But there are opportunities that are just monumental opportunities. Like I said, I have a really good team that I work with, and we have a good leader that we follow. And she is doing an amazing job. And I get to learn from her. I also get to learn from my direct supervisor, and he's a phenomenal leader. So the transition has been smooth because I'm surrounded by people that actually care and really do care about the outcomes for deserving children and also the development of effective faculties and staffs.
100. Dr. Hill, first of all, congratulations. And I'm always so grateful when I see people of color break these barriers. So I did want to ask you a question, like as it relates to you having most of your career in the state of Texas. How did you even go about ending up in a state like Colorado? Because it's not like they're right next door, right?
They are not. They are not. So there's a middle passage there in the middle there.
Okay.
So when I left Houston in 2016, I was principal at Jack Yates High School. And Jack Yates High School, that's the school that, just to give it some name recognition, that's the school that George Floyd graduated from.
Wow.
I wasn't his principal, but Jack Yates is the second oldest school for African Americans in the state of Texas.
Oh, wow.
Or in Houston, excuse me, in Houston, not Texas,
okay.
in Houston. And I was a principal there. And when I left Yates, we decided that I wanted to finish my doctorate.
Okay.
And I wanted to start my own consulting business.
Okay.
So I was fortunate to have the opportunity to travel to several Latin American countries, several states and school districts here in the United States, speaking about leadership development, working with faculty, working with staff, to make sure that we actually get the excellence out of people. The potential is there, but we have to figure out how to turn that potential into kinetic. And that takes us being very diligent and intentional with our approach and our practice. So I was going around the country and doing some international country and doing trainings, speaking about leadership development, student relationships, classroom management, student achievement, student growth, all those different things, all the buzzwords, and going around doing that. And I did a training in Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
And while I was doing the training, people were texting saying, who is this guy? We need him to be here with us. Somebody needs to offer him the principalship of one of the schools there that had a leadership void. Okay. The school had been without a school leader for about 8 months. Okay. They did not have a principal, and they offered me that position. I turned it down initially. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm liking what I'm doing. I'm traveling. And my wife at the time said, you just finished your doctorate. And she's an action research person like I am, a social scientist. She says, we need the data. We need to be able to see if all the things that you postulated and all the things you hypothesized and all the things that you recommended for schools to do in your dissertation is something that we can actually apply to a school that's been without a leader for 8 months. Wow. And lo and behold, I took the school on, and we did some amazing work there. And then we took on another school in Dayton, Ohio. Both schools made dramatic turnarounds in less than a year. The second school, Belmont High School, we went from an F to an A in one academic year. Wow. We're doing the right work with the right people at the right time. Again, but the impetus of my work is about pulling out the excellence in both the students, the staff, and the faculty, as well as my leadership team. So I had a really great body of professionals to work with there, and changing the culture, changing the climate, and also impacting the community. And so from there, I took about 6 months off just to, all right, let's shake the dust off of this one, because when you do turnaround work, that's some very arduous work. And if you're not careful, you'll burn yourself out. Sure. And I learned very early in my career from some seasoned principals that you work 3 or 5 years, you take a break. You work 3 or 5 years, you take a break. And so I took about 6 months off, and I saw this position, the community superintendent in Golden, online on LinkedIn, in fact. Where okay. And reached out to the recruiter, and the recruiter told me, he said, from everything I know about you, I think you should apply. And I said, all right, let's go with it. And I remember applying on a Thursday, and I think it was 2.5 weeks later, I was hired. And so, hired,
not interviewed.
Hired, yes.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, about 2.5, 3 weeks. They had me out. We did a few virtual interviews. They flew me out, and here we are today. Wow. In Denver. Yeah, I'm praying for my friend Russell Wilson, though, because they just ain't giving him no slack out here.
Bro, and look, what's crazy is his replacement up here that made the Pro Bowl.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So that's how I ended up here.
Man, that's an amazing story. That's an amazing story, and kudos to you. That just goes to show you what God has for you is for you.
It's for you. The Bible says that the steps of a good man,
ordered by the Lord.
Yeah. But see, people only think that means good steps. It's all of your steps.
100%.
Even if you sidestep, make a wrong step, all of your steps are ordered. It's just a matter of you getting back on the path. But lo and behold, God will get you to that expected end.
100%.
Just got to trust and believe. And so
100%.
That's what my career has been about: faith and family and high expectations. And God has taken good care of me. I've had good people in my life to take care of me. And I'm very excited about my journey.
That's good.
When you're going through it, you don't understand it. It's why is this so hard? Why are we making bricks with no straw? Like, what is this all about?
Yeah.
But then you turn around and you look back, like the song say, when I look back over my life. And 100%. So you recognize that my good days truly do outweigh my bad days.
100%. No, that's real, man. So I'm super excited for you. If for whatever reason, which we know this isn't going to happen, but if I didn't see you for the next 5 years, where does Dr. Hill see himself in, let's say, 2028?
Wow, 2028, hopefully I'll be leading my own district. I have it in me to do a district.
Sure.
Because again, there's such a void. Leaders need, people think leaders need just to be developed. Leaders also need support. And they need mentoring. And they need coaching.
Absolutely.
And they need accountability partners. Yes, and they need people to hold them to a standard, but we also need people to support them.
Absolutely.
My goal is to have a school district that really is in need, that's in peril. And I said, listen, we're waiting on Superman, and I want to put a cape on. And
there you go.
And I know that it's easier said than done, but what I do know is that possibilities are limitless. It's just a matter of people saying, we're going to put all of the issues to the side, even though we got to work through them at the same time. We're going to put the issues to the side and really work on developing a school system, developing a district that really is about people.
Sure.
We're always about programs. And I'm just a firm believer that you can have all the programs you want, but you still have to have people to work through them.
Absolutely.
And yeah, man, I would have my own district, and be it in Denver somewhere, or back in Texas, or in Ohio, or Vegas, or wherever. I don't know.
So you're open.
Yeah. You know, where there's need, that's where I want to be. I don't want to be somewhere where it's all figured out and then you can mess that up. I don't want to mess up somebody's good thing.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So, no, that's good. And I see that in your future, 100%.
I receive it. Thank you.
100. Dr. Hill, I believe that the K-12 profession is the greatest profession in the world, right? I believe we're the profession that makes all other professions possible. Why do you believe the K-12 profession is such a great profession?
Back in the day, they used to say it was a noble profession. And I'm very much about honor and integrity and nobility. I'm all about it. And this system, the K-12 system, the opportunity to speak into the lives of children, to model for children a standard, a higher level, an opportunity to tap into their lives for either a day, a year, or a decade, depending on how long you're in their presence. That's something that we should never take for granted. It's an opportunity to be a blessing to someone with your knowledge, skills, and experience. And so the nobility that comes with being a K-12 educator is that we impact every person. The challenge to that is to impact them in a way where we produce growth and we produce positive results rather than doing harm. Yes. So that's where we have to really be careful, because we're going to make an impact either way. We should always err on making an impact positively and pulling the best out of young people and adults. And so this profession, again, like you said, it is the gateway to everything everyone else is doing. I don't care what you have, what you aspire to be. You still had a teacher somewhere in your life. There was a principal somewhere in your life. There was a superintendent, a bus driver,
a coach
somewhere in your life that made you feel a certain way.
Sure.
The prayer is that it was in a positive, empowered way, but they still made an impact in some manner. And so for me, I've tried to build a career where I've made positive impacts and made considerable investments in the lives of young people as well as adults, as I've served as a leader in different school districts. My true heart's desire is to be an asset and not a liability. And every educator has that opportunity. And so that's why I truly believe that this is by far the most noble profession. Again, because in this profession, we get to create anything we want to create. Yes. You want, hey, young man, young lady, You want to be a doctor? You want to be a physician? You want to be a social media influencer? Guess what? There's a class for that somewhere.
100%.
You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to do this the hard way. All you have to do is submit to the fact of allowing someone to mentor you throughout this journey. And guess what? You can be anything you want to be.
Love it.
Like I told you in our pre-interview, I have a 9-year-old. His mom was telling me just today, she bought him this inventor kit for Christmas.
Okay.
So he opens up the inventor kit and he starts trying to put the pieces together. And she goes and she speaks to him. She says, son, the instruction manual is right there though. My 9-year-old, witty like his father, says, if it's an inventor's book, then why they send instructions? He was irritated at that point. He said, I don't even want to play with this anymore. Because there's a hunger there to create.
Sure.
There's a hunger to synthesize. And most of our students have that.
Sure.
But the challenge is somewhere along the way, there's an adult somewhere that actually discourages that.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to be careful of in this very noble profession. And we need people that are not afraid to say, listen, do not speak to my students like that. They can do anything they want to.
100%.
I don't care. It's irrespective of a zip code, a familial experience, trauma, whatever the case may be. We can overcome anything as long as we put work into it and we put effort into it. Yeah, man. So that's why this is the most amazing opportunity to serve and work in the lives of students. And I'm gonna say this one more thing. I know you got another question, but I'm gonna say this one more thing.
No, you're good.
And when you're a leader, a principal, a superintendent, the same thing for the disillusioned educator. It's, hey, you're in this because for whatever reason you were called to this. Now there are some people that aren't. I get that. But that's our obligation to sniff them out.
100%.
Say, I don't think this is for you.
Absolutely.
But for those that are called to it, but they can get frustrated because of politics and bureaucracy, I would say it's with anything. There's going to be those chapters that are just harder to process. But if you really are called to this profession, I say see it through. There's a scripture that says, judge nothing before it's time. And a lot of times we bail on things just too soon. But it's right before the breaking of day when it's the darkest.
That's true.
And so if we just hold on and just stay committed to our studies and stay committed to the profession, stay committed to all of the experience you've gained. Remember the joy on that student that's like Mr. and Mrs. or Dr. such and such. Because of you, this is what I'm doing. Because of you, I'm still in school. Because of you, I come every day. Like, just don't get weary in well-doing.
Yeah.
Because it will change. Remember this, nothing will ever stay the same. The one thing that is promised to us is change. It's not going to stay the same.
That is so true.
And you just have to remember why you do it. And that goes back to, who was it? Simon Sinek, your why. What is your why? As long as you can remember your own personal mission statement, your own personal why I'm doing this, why I invested in myself to do this, you can see it through. And I encourage you. I know it's tough right now. The gaps are huge. The gaps have been expanded. Kids are coming much more unsocialized. They're coming undisciplined because they spent the first 3 years, some of our elementary kids, and then there was that middle school void where they didn't even go to middle school, but they went 5th grade and then they were in the 8th grade and now they're back in school. We get it. We get it.
Sure.
But hear me, if there is anyone more capable to do this, or we are in the position right now where we are the most capable, because it happened during our time.
Yep.
See, every era has their thing.
Yep.
And because you are a classroom teacher or a school leader or a counselor or a nurse or a bus driver or a janitor, whatever role you play right now, it's because you are equipped to handle this season. So don't second guess what you believe when you said yes to this call. Just be patient in it, evolve with it, learn from it, gain new skills, and then stick to it, because you can do it.
That's awesome, Dr. Hill. I have a question for you, Doc.
Yes.
And this is going to be my final question. You've been in this 23 years, correct?
Correct.
If you could go back to your 21, 22-year-old self, would you do it all over again?
Ooh. You know what? So I'll tell you how I got in it. I was a biology major at Wiley College, home of the great debaters.
Okay.
Check the movie out if you haven't seen it.
All right.
Yeah. But I was
you
biology
pre-med?
Major. Sir?
Pre-med?
Yes, sir. I was going to medical school. Yeah, I wanted to be an Army doctor.
Okay.
Yeah, everything was going well. I was tracking like I was supposed to. Classes were on point. And then I went to an internship at LSU, in fact, the summer of 1999.
Wow.
But my younger brother took ill. We were informed that he had heart failure.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, he was my younger brother. So I think I was at the time about 20, and he was 19, something like that. Okay. And all while I was doing this, so while I was preparing for the MCAT, I would leave class and go to the hospital and sit with him and my mom. And I didn't put the study time in that I needed to because there was a traumatic event that was going on, happening. And anyway, cut to the chase, when I actually sat for the MCAT, I was underprepared. Yeah. And so I didn't do as well as I would have liked. And as a result, I did not get any acceptance in the medical school. So I was standing outside of our dorm building, and a friend of mine, his mom, who's from Houston, she pulls up and she says, "So what are you going to do? You graduate in a month." And I was like, "Hey, I don't know." And she said, "Well, you need a job." And I was like, "I guess you're right." It hadn't dawned on me the real world is about to take place. And she was like, "You need a job." She said, "You want to teach?" And I said, "Absolutely not." And she said, "If I can get you into a school, I think you should at least take a year, and that way you can study some more." That's a good point. She said, "Teach science." I was like, so lo and behold, that's how I ended up teaching science at Wiley High School, sunny side of Houston, Texas. And I was supposed to study that year. And you heard from the beginning, like I told you, I was coaching auto sports and band director and teaching those high-level science courses, and you get ingratiated into the culture of the school. And every time I tried to pick up an MCAT book, it just wasn't happening. Yeah. I could not lock back into it. And then I started to understand the need of me being there. And I started understanding my purpose for being there. And that purpose then became enthusiasm. Wow. So the question you asked me is, would I do it again? The honest answer to that question is absolutely. Yeah. The selfish answer to that question is probably not. Yeah, I get it. And I say the selfish answer because I really wanted to see if I could have pursued a career as a military physician. But I have thoroughly enjoyed the last 23 years of my life. I've met some of the most amazing young people, some who have gone on to become some of the most contributing members to society, educators who were disillusioned, ready to throw in the towel, new to the profession, some that needed to go. I've helped every one of them fulfill their purpose. Yeah. I like that. Manner. And so, no, man, I have no complaints. I'm thankful for every experience that I've had and every person that I've had the opportunity to meet and engage with. Not always positive, but that's the business. That's it. It's not about, that's not what it's about. It's about making the most effective decisions and being that advocate and being that standard for your school, your students, and for those that you serve. No, I have no complaints. Looking forward to the next 6 years, because I'm 6 years. I'm done at 50. Done at 50? Gonna try something new. I'm done at 50. That's awesome. That's awesome, Doc. Yeah, we had that in common. Like, I was not a education major. I was actually a pre-law major, not pre-med, and was actually accepted. I was on my way to SMU Law School and thought that was where I was going to be. And I did the same thing. I was like, it wasn't about me preparing for a test, the LSAT or anything. It was just about, okay, I'm tired of being a poor, broke college student. I'm going to save up some money this 1 year, and then I'll go to law school. And there you go. It's 28 years ago, bro. I'm still in deferred status. I hear you. There you go. That's how it goes. We don't know how we end up where we are, but the thing that you grow where you're planted. Grow where you planted, and education gives you options. Right? Let me tell you something. I've had some of the most amazing experiences as an educator. Like I said, I've had the chance, I've been fortunate enough to start my own consulting company where I get to tour, see different countries,
That's awesome.
Be it now, you can go to another country virtually. Like I shared with you, I was just in Vietnam not too long ago, virtually.
That's so cool.
And working with their leadership teams and teachers. Just the opportunity to be everywhere, without never leaving your home is amazing. But then also, when you actually get to go and step foot on a campus, and you go and you step foot in an administration building, and you get to see people and touch people and say, you know what? I know your best is just right on the other side of this. Let's just push a little harder. Let me help you with this. Let me show you something a little differently about this. Because everyone can be pushed to another level. That's true.
That's so true. So
true. Man. No, I'm blessed, man. I've got the opportunity to graduate several classes and
100%. It's a beautiful thing.
Put diplomas in hands and have those situations where I get to tell kids, you're not dropping out on me. So I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be here, you be here. So 100%. Just those great opportunities.
Love it. That's so cool, Dr. Hill. Dr. Hill, I want to thank you so much for coming on the My K12 Career Show and just being so transparent and authentic, just sharing with our viewers and our listeners. But before you leave, could you please leave us with some parting words of wisdom? Tell us how we can connect with you, and then we'll say goodbye.
All right. My kids and family, they're all going to be like, there he goes. And I have several. I'm the quote person. I've got a saying and a story. I'm like, I got a saying and a story for every situation.
That's awesome.
But I encourage everyone to no longer live beneath your potential. Make the choice today. Yesterday was the start of a new chapter. But if you take yesterday's or last year's attitude into this new season, you're going to get the same thing. So let's make up our minds that we're going to no longer live beneath our potential. And where we see struggle in somebody else, we're going to lend a hand to say, let me help you up a level. It's time for everybody to level up.
I love it. I love it. How can we connect with you, Doc?
You can connect with me on LinkedIn. You can also connect with me on email.
Okay.
Do I need to give it? You going to put it in the...
No, I'll put everything in the show notes.
Okay.
So email, LinkedIn. Do you have Instagram or any of that other stuff? Twitter?
I do have Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, but I'm off it for the next 90 days because this is me leveling up. So I'm only going to use LinkedIn.
Got it.
Yeah, because that's my platform where I conduct business, and I'm trying to take my family and myself up a level. And so I'm going to focus there and come out of the social scene and let me figure out how to elevate what I have going on. So LinkedIn is the best way to reach and communicate, and I welcome it. I'm very easy. Like everybody tell me, like they always say that me and Deion Sanders have these similarities. I'm like, I'm with it. I'm with it. Like you say, I'm easy to find.
That's what's up. I love it. And since he's going to be there with you, you need to get him to come and tour some of these schools and be an inspiration in Colorado.
I'm going to reach out to him. He and I actually know each other. He won't remember me, but I remember him. I say when I was the principal at Jackie H, we had a phenomenal basketball program and a couple of state championships. And then one year, they were the #1 team in the nation.
Oh, yeah.
And so we would play him all the time. We would go to his school. He would come to our school. So when I remind him, he'll be like, oh, yeah. But,
that's what's up. So, that was when he had Prime Prep, right?
Yeah, Prime Prep. That's right.
Yeah. I remember that.
Again, like I say, your gifts will make room for you and bring you before great men.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man.
Love it.
So I'm easy to find. Reach out to me. I got a couple of books that I've written. They're out on Amazon, I believe.
Okay.
One is called Today's Prince, Tomorrow's King. Is really written for young men of color, but it's an excellent read for anyone because it just talks about the grounding principles that we're speaking about. And then my second book that I wrote came out in 2019. This one is called Give Me a Year. And I actually wrote it for educators.
Okay.
It's a spiritual book, but it really anybody can access it. And a matter of fact, I'll send you the link.
Please send me both links.
I'll send you the link of where they can get them if they're interested.
No, that'd be great.
Yeah. And I autographed every copy.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I appreciate you, brother, and thank you so much. This isn't the last time that me and you are going to personally communicate, and I really appreciate you coming on the show, and I just wish you all the best as a senior leader in Colorado. And I have zero doubt that you're going to be a superintendent in short order very soon. So I'm just going to speak that into existence.
Yes, sir. I receive it, and thank you. And God bless you and your viewers and your platform, and you're making a difference. And like you shared, Last year, you had no followers. Now you're everywhere. So keep working, man. Keep doing the work you were called to do, because it's blessing somebody, if not me.
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you. Wish you all the best in 2023.
All right. Thank you.
Take care, brother.